8 years ago, was it 8 years ago, I attended the first dinner, and I was so inspired by the work you all did. You know, most of you then were medical students, and you went out of your comfort zone to do this in Bangladesh. I was deeply moved, and then now to be invited back, and really, I don't deserve to be here, you know, but I'm here, because if I'm not here, you get very angry with me, okay? And I'd rather be here and feeling unworthy than to make you angry, okay? And as I walk in here, I said, what a lovely venue. I said, who designed this, you know? It's like walking into a fairy kind of set in a Hollywood movie. It's unreal, you know. But, you know, between here, like you say, and between the world that we want to serve, there is a divide. But somehow we got to close it, okay? Because we are social beings, and we are happy together, we suffer together, and we support each other, right? So that's the way it is. Now, I think you want me to talk a bit about Palestine, and I'll tell you a bit about it. In 1982, like many of you, I was climbing the surgical ladder. It's difficult enough being a woman, being a refugee, with this kind of color of skin, talking with the wrong accent, you know, to break through the surgical hierarchy. But one thing that really which really pulled me out of my own aspiration, was when I came home and I saw a country being relentlessly bombed. And I couldn't stand it. I don't even know the name of the country. But the people dropping the bombs, I know. They were Israelis. And for my whole life, I've been supporting Israel because they were a democratic country, and they are a haven for the people who suffered so much, not only in the Holocaust alone, but for many years. So I cannot understand why Israel did this. Neither have I got the nous to work out the logistics. So being a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon, you know, who has got more brains than brain, but I've got neither, and I don't even have beauty. So the only thing to do is to up and go. And St. Thomas said, no, you can't go. And I said, well, then I've got to resign. And then everybody said, look here, you have lots to lose. I said, but I will lose more if I don't go. So I resigned, and I went to Beirut with Christian Aid, all right? And there I met people called the Palestinians, not terrorists as the world called them, but the people who have lost their homes and are growing up in exile, and they would die in exile if maybe in my generation, but hopefully not in yours. And the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, agreed to evacuate to save the whole of Lebanon being destroyed. So with that, I was asked to join the Palestine Red Crescent Society. I've got to cross the divide because as a fundamentalist, pro-Israel Christian, I have to work with Palestine Red Crescent. Red Crescent, to me at that time, is all the wrong thing because they are Muslim, they are this, that, and that. But I was totally wrong. I met the most beautiful set of people who, despite their suffering, despite their pain, despite being homeless and stateless, and in fact without a future, treated me so wonderful that I was ashamed of being called the angel of Christianity in the press. They are the human beings. I was a prejudiced bigot. And that's the truth. But unfortunately, 3 weeks after the PLO left, you know, you can read about it, you Google it, I don't want to go through we are here to celebrate the success of Ma and to wish you the very best. There was a massacre. My team and I worked very hard trying to save dozens of lives. And when we were taken out at gunpoint, we realized that 3,500 people were massacred. And as I came out, I was completely broken. I want to tell you that as I walked that road outside the camp at machine gun point, I said, how could this happen? And why am I in the midst of all this? And I want to share with you two images of mothers. 2 days before we were captured and taken out, I operated on a mother and a baby. The whole family was put in a house, and it's either a shell or a grenade. And everybody died, leaving this mother and this baby. We operated on both of them, and both of them survived, alhamdulillah. And at the end, in between patients, we don't sleep. Those days were horrible. I went up to make sure that both are all right, because they're very special to me, a mother and a child. And I found that the hospital has run out of O negative blood. And I said, give it to the mother. I think Ma would agree, because the mother is always important. But what did the mother do? No. Let my baby have it. Let my baby live. So, under the principles of trauma and triage, this is not what you do. You save the mother and let the baby go. But I was the surgeon, and I obeyed her instructions. We saved the baby, and the mother died. The second time I want to talk to you during this period about mother. We were walking out, and there were soldiers with machine guns on both sides of us. And on the side of the camp, apart from dead bodies and all that, were also groups and groups of people all lined up. And the look of terror in their eyes, you know that they know what's going to face them. And then suddenly a young mother carrying a baby broke through 2 lots of machine guns and wanted to give me her child. And she begged the gunman, let doctor take my baby, you can kill me. But that was not allowed. I had a machine gun pointed at me, she has a machine gun pointed at her, and she was pushed back. I came back to the refugee camp many times, and I found out that she and everybody on the side of the road were killed. It is very difficult because I came out of that kind of background, knowing that my heart is broken, the Palestinians were broken, their homes were broken, the hopes were broken, and what can I do? What can I do? And then I met a group of young children, and one of them was my orthopedic surgeon, orthopedic patient, and you know that he's got the plaster on, so he has to be my patient. And he ran up to me, doctor, he said, the Chinese doctor is back, they didn't kill her. And suddenly all the children came around me. And what they said was amazing. They didn't kill you, doctor. Then he began to tell the story. And I said, no, I'm not Chinese. Anna Britannia, which means I'm British. No, you are not British. British, very, very bad. They gave away our country. Chinese, very, very good. You didn't give away our country. So, that's the only time, in Britain when I'm training, this kind of Chinese face is such a setback, But in the refugee camps, amidst the death and destruction, the children love me because I'm a Chinese. Now, what kind of world is this? And then they stand before me and held their hand in the victory sign. Take a picture of us. You will have that picture of us, and you can share it with your friends all over the world. And they will know that they're Palestinian children And we are not afraid. Our houses can be broken, we might be orphans, there might be death and destruction, but we are not afraid. And today I share this story with you. And that's why we came back and we founded MAP. Not because we think we're going to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. We have no illusions of grandeur. But we want to help the Palestinian children live. We want to give them a good health service as best as we can, to support their health service, to rebuild, to give them medicine. And we are still doing it now. Not only in Lebanon, but also in Gaza and the West Bank. In Gaza, our organization, Medicaid for Palestinians, are still in northern Gaza, where people were being arrested, in Rafah, where people were so crowded, 12 of them working and not evacuating. So I'm very proud of them, just as I'm very proud of you. But then I want to tell you the third story about mothers. You know, since the events of 7th of October, where Israelis were brutally murdered, and the reprisal resulting in nearly 30,000 Palestinian civilians killed to this date, half of them children,